Would you be fine if I leave by the time the sun is out? I do not need a bullet, so I will be fine.
G'day everyone, today I am back with another video, doing something a little bit different today. I'm here standing with one of my recently acquired vehicles, which is a 2010 Ford Territory Turbo. So a bit of a background story on this. I actually purchased this car from one of the local scrapyards in my area. They had it advertised on Marketplace, 4 parts. So I quickly messaged them and asked if they would sell it complete, in which they replied that they would for $1,750. However, when I went and inspected the car, it had another car sitting on top of it, which explains the damage that you see here. However, I then further negotiated the price down to $1,500, paid them their cash, got the car delivered here, and today we're going to be finding out to see why it was scrapped, to see if we can get it running and driving, and to see if we can flip it back on Marketplace for a profit. So this is the last of the Turbo Territory gears. It is the top of the line model. It has leather seats, dual climate, color display, all that sort of stuff. It also has a low 165,000 kilometers. So I don't know why this car was scrapped. Usually these engines, transmissions and diffs are pretty bulletproof. Upon purchasing the car, I did check the engine over real quickly. So I checked the fluids, such as the oil, the coolant, and they all seem good. So I really have no idea why someone would scrap a car like this. So that being said, let's dig into it and see if we can get it running. As with purchasing any car in unknown mechanical condition, let's just turn the key and see what happens. At this stage, I would say we've either got a dead battery or the engine's locked up. Can't really hear anything. I can sort of hear solenoids clicking or something like that. But yeah, not turning over, not cranking or anything like that. So let's do a quick battery test and see what that comes up with. Check connection. Okay, I think I may have found our problem. Battery is at 10.9 volts. So I'm going to hook a jumper pack up to it and see if it'll crank with the jumper pack connected. Oh, and by the way, just in case you were wondering, I have checked the oil and we're probably about halfway on the full mark there. And it has got coolant in it, which is about at the halfway mark as well. Connecting up the booster pack. Alrighty, let's see what it does. I suppose I better put it back in park. Can it be this simple? No, it's never this simple. I think the next point of call with me is going to be to see if the engine's locked up. I'm really hoping it's not, but it could be. This thing's only got 165,000 kilometers on it, so pretty much with these barriers, if it's got oil in it, if it's got coolant, it's pretty hard to kill them. So let's just get the ratchet out and put on the crank bolt and see if we can turn it. Somewhere in my move, I lost my 21 mil, so I'm using 13/16, which fits perfectly. The moment of truth. We have movement. Perfect. We have determined that the engine isn't locked up, which is a huge relief for me because I really didn't want to be pulling that engine out, which I probably wouldn't be doing. I probably would have just sold the car as is anyway. But it's good that it's not locked up because now we can move forward to the next step to determine what's causing this no start issue. Could be the starter motor, could be something ignition related, maybe the ignition switch, could be an immobilizer. However, when we turn the accessories on, we don't see an immobilizer light flashing, which is a good thing. So I can rule out the immobilizer thing. So next I'm going to run a couple of tests to see if I can isolate the issue to either the starter or the ignition. I think a good place to start would be with the starter relay. So it should be under this cover right here. If we have a look, where is the starter? Okay, so it looks like it is this one right there. But if we look at it from that perspective there, it is looking like it is this big one here. So I'm going to run a series of tests in here just to make sure everything is functioning properly in regards to the grounds and the positives. And then if we know that that's functioning correctly, we can then presume that it's just a starter relay. I've got the trustworthy test lamp out here, and what I'm going to be looking for is 2 positives and 2 negatives. So first up, I'm going to connect one end to the positive and see if I can find 2 negatives in here. So we have one. Actually, I should turn the ignition on. Okay, ignition is on. We have 2 grounds, one, this one here, and the other one next to it. So now I'm going to be checking for 2 positives. So I'm going to connect the test lamp up to the negative on the battery terminal, and we have a power here, but we don't have a second power. So that is interesting. From that test, I've determined that we have power not coming from the ignition to the relay. So the relay itself is actually good. We have an issue somewhere from here, I believe, to the ignition switch, because we're not getting this relay here activated to crank the starter. But in saying that, I'm going to do a little test to see if I can add 12 volts directly to the starter solenoid, and hopefully that should turn the engine over. Now all I'm going to be doing here is just connecting that missing link, which you can see 30 and 87. This is what I'm going to be using to do that. Just 2 spade connectors on the end of a wire. Working on this old territory kind of reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses, which is Matthew 6:19. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. That being said, let's see if this Barra will crank. Oh, that's right. I've got to hook the jumper pack up. Yes! Woo! Got it. Look at that. The good old Barra. Quiet as a mouse. It is running super smooth. Do we have gears? Yes, we do. Oh, perfect. Yes. I've got to get this car off this block of land because it is not my block of land. However, I only live next door. So, first official test drive. It's been a couple of days now. I ordered a couple of parts off eBay, one being this ignition switch and a second-hand battery. So I'm going to whack these parts in and see if we can get this territory moving under its own power. So it looks as though the ignition switch is held on by this one little torque screw, which is pretty easy to access. There we go. Out with the old and in with the new. We have the new ignition switch all in and ready to see the moment of truth if this $30 eBay part has fixed this Ford Territory Turbo. Boom, just like that. Just took the Territory for a bit of a test drive, and it actually drives quite good besides a couple of front end noises. So I think the next point of call is get it a bit more ready for sale, and that'll include polishing up this bonnet and roof and maybe just giving it a bit of a detail to get it presenting a little bit better. I have just finished uploading the ad to Marketplace, and I listed it for a conservative $7,000. So let's see how we go and if we make a profit on this Turbo Territory. So the ad's only been live for about 5 minutes, and I already have someone on the way to have a look at the car. So they're saying they're going to be leaving their place in 15 minutes. It has been about 2 hours and the Turbo Territory is now officially sold. I have a pile of cash sitting here, and I got quite a few messages in regards to the Territory itself. So as you could see, many people were messaging me. It had only been listed for about an hour or so. Alrighty, so just a quick price breakdown on the Turbo Territory and how much profit we made on that sale. As you can see here, we have a purchase price of $1,500. Battery was $60, ignition was $25. Leaving us a total cost of $1,585. Sale price was $5,700, and total profit was $4,115. So hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.